Welcome! My name is Andrea Schwartz, and you may know me from my Twitter account, Jane Austen First Drafts.
And I'm Kim Kalish. You may know me from my many frequent walks to Meryton.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that two Austenites must be in one of an audience to share their many Jane Austen opinions with.
That's correct, and we have so many opinions. Jane Austen characters have been making questionable decisions for over 200 years, and it's time we gave them a piece of our minds. Join us as we take a look at the decisions of many beloved Jane Austen characters, from the good to the bad to the esteemed. I want you to grab a glass of wine and your favorite potato and join us for
Be Not Alarmed, Austen Characters.
We have notes. I dropped the potato. The potato has gone.
Potato down!
Okay, so let's talk about Emma from Emma. Now, I know she's a lead character and I know she's got a lot of goals, but I just want to focus on the one goal of trying to matchmake her friends into happy, loving marriages.
Yeah, and it does not work out for her at all.
Oh, she's so bad at it. I think we've all had those terrible situations where a friend is like, hey, can I set you up with one of my friends?
Yeah, and like blind dates just do not work. Never.
They're terrible. And you start to question whether or not your friend actually understands you as a person,
like, when you are. Right.
Yes, when they show you the person that they want to set you up with.
Yeah. When your friend tells you, hey, I'm happy I've met this person, your response should not be, but like, look at this other guy.
Emma, you got two rules. Number one, stop trying to matchmake everyone and just pay attention to yourself. And number two, honey, when your best friend says that she likes the farmer,
just say, I'm happy that you're happy and move on.
I'm happy that you're happy.
So easy, Emma.
It's so easy, girl.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh from Pride and Prejudice. We could say a lot about Lady Catherine.
Oh, yeah.
But one of my favorite lines from her is,
there are few people in England, I suppose, who have more true enjoyment in music than myself, or a better taste. And if I had ever learned, I should be a true proficient.
Right, which is a really big claim. But I do think she could have gone bigger.
So you mean like when you embellish, really embellish?
Yeah, really go for it. Now I think it's time that we talk about Mr. George Wickham from Pride and Prejudice. Now, Andrea, this guy was a bad guy. But I'd like to argue he was bad at being a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
His goal, right, was to trick people and to get them to give him money,
yeah,
right, and to try to manipulate his way into better circles.
Yeah, so he's basically a con man.
That's right, but he was terrible at it.
Right. So what is the note? That he be a better con man?
Exactly.
Okay. So how do you do that?
Well, I think the first thing you do is you don't con people in the immediate vicinity of where you're staying.
Right. So like, don't walk out on your butcher's bill because he'll go and tell the milliner that you're not paying your debts and then you get run out of town, right?
That's right. You need at least 2 to 3 towns distance between you and the con.
Right. And then I think another thing that he did is like, he's peddling this woe is me tale about him and Darcy, but he's doing it to people that Darcy knows.
That's right. They could verify it.
Yeah. So like, even though Lizzie doesn't like Darcy, later on, she changes her opinion because she actually speaks to Darcy about the things that Wickham is accusing Darcy of.
That's right. So Wickham, if you're going to con people, don't know them personally. Like, don't get further away from the person.
There was an actual Regency con man named Gregor McGregor, and he invented a fake country in Central America, and he sold plots of land to people in the United Kingdom who would then go over thinking that it's this land of opportunity, and then it's just a swamp. They ended up getting like yellow fever. It was terrible. But he did this for over 2 decades and got away with it, essentially. So the lesson here is keep an ocean between yourself and your marks. The bigger the distance, the better.
No, I like that. Always keep your con an ocean away. That definitely feels like a saying in the con world.
Yeah. Maybe that's where Danny Ocean's name comes from.
Danny Ocean.
Mr. Ocean?
I'm in your seat.
Next up, we have Mary Musgrove from Persuasion. She is Anne Elliot's youngest sister. She's known for wanting to have as much attention on her at all times as possible. She uses illnesses and sickness to do this, which she may or may not have, but let's be honest, she probably doesn't. She does this to try to engender sympathy from the characters around her. And we think this is a brilliant idea, Mary. Try these simple steps to get even more sympathy. Step 1. When faking an illness, don't go over the top. Be vague. You don't want to leave any room for people to be able to question you. You need to keep it loose. Hey, Kim, are you going to the party tonight?
Oh, no, you know what? I'm feeling a bit off, so I don't think
Oh,
so.
no. What's wrong?
I can't even put it into words. Every system feels just a little off.
Oh,
So I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
okay. Well, I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your
Yeah,
sympathy.
no problem. Step 2, always leave yourself an out. Oh, Kim, I'm so sorry you can't make it to the party tonight, but you know what? I'll tell Captain Wentworth that you're not feeling well and that you sound your best.
Oh, actually, I think it might be allergies.
Oh, so it's not a sickness?
No, now that I think about it and I hear all the details, I'm thinking it's allergies. And so I'm totally fine to go out and be with everyone.
Oh,
Mm. But just in case it's not allergies, I'll let you know at the party and then I'll leave because then it's definitely something more serious.
Step 3, when your child dislocates a shoulder, make it about him and not you. You're sure you don't want to stay in with him? I mean, he
No,
dislocated his shoulder.
yeah, but if it's a cold, I'm going to make that shoulder even sicker, and I don't want that for him. And if it's an allergy, my sneezing could give him some auditory pain, and he's already dealing with some shoulder pain. So I don't want to have the two pains commingle.
Oh, well, you're a really good mom.
Next up, I think it's time we talk about Sir Walter Elliot and Miss Elizabeth Elliot from Persuasion. They are, of course, Anne's father and sister, and their goal is to be the most handsomest, most respected two individuals in any room that they enter. And they definitely don't achieve that. And here's my theory. I think the reason they don't achieve that is because they break two cardinal rules of society. Don't go broke, just be nice.
Well, Kim, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that because, you have really different class structures you're dealing with. They're part of the aristocracy. All of the other characters within the book are mostly landed gentry. But I think where they really go wrong is cutting off charity. I mean, that's not going to endear you to your neighbors. If that's your first step to getting out of debt, you're probably already hurting your social capital there. Do you agree with me on that?
Don't go broke, just be nice.
Okay, I mean, sure, if you really want to boil it down to its essence. One other thing that I think you have to keep in mind is their popularity comes from who they relate to. They're so desperate to have the approval of the Dalrymples, but they're not getting it. And why are they not getting it? It's because they're kind of acting desperate. If you really want to be popular, you kind of have to play it cool, right?
Don't go broke, just be nice.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess you could sum it up. Don't go broke, just be nice.
Okay, next up, we've got to talk about Lucy Steele from Sense and Sensibility. Now, her goal was to marry rich and to fall in love.
So she first starts out by getting secretly engaged to Edward.
And then she becomes friends with her competition, which is Eleanor, right? And then she lets her know that she's secretly engaged in order to sort of warn her off of Edward.
After that, they go to London and she meets Fanny and Robert and Mrs. Ferrers and ingratiates herself to them, trying to secure the engagement.
That's right, but that goes a little, left turn because the engagement ends up being announced and then that's bad news bears. Edward gets disinherited.
So what's she going to do now? She signs her affections over to Robert because He's the one with money.
That's right. And they end up getting married, and then she marries the rich one.
So what did she do wrong?
Nothing.
All right.
She accomplished all her goals.
So Lucy Steele, no notes.
No notes.
So our next one is Mrs. Elton from Emma. And she's the new bride coming into town and trying to establish herself as the top dog in Highbury.
Right. And I think we can agree that she does it all the wrong ways.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the first thing that she does that's wrong is she comes in and immediately tries to like establish herself as the top dog and challenging
That's right.
Emma.
She goes after Emma immediately.
That's not going to work. You need to like work your way up to it. So shouldn't she be like forming alliances with the Coles, or even like going after Harriet and like trying to poach her into her own friend group?
That's right. You got to start smaller and then work your way up to the queen
because
bee.
you can't challenge a queen bee right away. We learned nothing from Mean Girls.
And can we also talk about her total lack of air of mystery about her?
Oh yeah, she comes in and like you can reinvent yourself in a new town, and I feel like that is not what she does. So you could come in there and just, I mean, you could basically make yourself into the coolest person you could think of, and instead she came up with Mrs. Elton.
That's right. She also, I just want a little bit of intrigue.
Yeah.
I want her not telling everyone everything all the time.
Right. Oh, this leads me into stop talking about Mr. Suckling. Nobody cares about your brother. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what Maple Grove is, where it is. It doesn't matter. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
This week on This Gothic Life, we have a story that will make you ask yourself, is this satire or is this real life?
It's about what went wrong with one teenage girl's trip to a wealthy general's house.
That house? Northanger Abbey.
Catherine Morland was a young woman obsessed with the Gothic, so much so she saw threats in every shadowy corner.
And it got us thinking about the nature of Gothic itself. And was Catherine Gothic enough?
She searched the rooms of a recently deceased woman, but did she talk to her ghost in the attic?
She explored the grounds, but did she walk down a darkened hallway with one candle?
With two candles?
With a whole candelabra?
In fact, our team could find no evidence of Catherine ever befriending a gargoyle.
And we have to ask, is this the tale of a Gothic-obsessed woman? Or is this simply a romance that will capture the minds of generations to come?
This and more, this week on This Gothic Life.
So let's talk about Sir John Middleton and Mrs. Jennings. They are the gossip hounds of Sense and Sensibility, and they want to find out who Eleanor is interested in, who she wants to date, and who she wants to marry.
Well, they straight up hound Eleanor the entire time to find out who Mr. F is. Here's my note. Here's my issue. They're really bad at gossiping.
I mean, they love to do it, but they don't really know what they're doing.
Agreed. I mean, gossip is a cool man's game, right?
Yeah.
You got to be subtle about it. You can't just like get in there and scream about Mr. F the minute you walk in the door.
Also, I mean, how hard is it to figure out who Mr. F is? There's not like that many eligible gentlemen hanging around Devonshire at the time. You know, she's not going to be interested in the butcher, Mr. F.
Also, Edward Ferrars visits her like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out, guys.
So, I mean, what are some things that they could have done differently? I think an easy thing is just expand your gossip circuit.
That's right, Mrs. Jennings. I want you to become a chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
I want you to find all the friends walking around trying to get ribbons
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them about the gossip of the day.
And I mean, Sir John spends half of his time with dogs, and not that that's a problem. I love dogs.
That's a pretty good thing
right.
to have. Yeah.
But you're not going to get the gossip from the dogs. So maybe start a little club for pet owners.
Whoa. Hear me out, Sir John. Here's a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Can you create the first dog park of the Regency era?
Ooh.
Boom.
Dog walking
Boom.
club / gossip
That's what I'm
club.
saying.
Yeah, I love it. You could even dress it up as like a hunting club.
I'm not going to hunt anything,
No.
but I will hang with the dogs and give all the gossip.
We release the fox and then, just let it go, because the rest of the day is just about serving the tea. Next up, the Crawfords from Mansfield Park, Henry and Mary, the two siblings. What notes do we have for them, Kim?
You know what? I don't have any notes for them, Andrea.
Oh, interesting.
I have notes for everyone who doesn't like them.
Oh, you know what? I'm on board with this, because I feel like I always stand up for Henry Crawford and Mary Crawford, and I always get shot down.
Readers, we have notes.
For you.
Can we talk about Henry and Mary? Because they're cool,
Mm-hmm.
they're hot, and they add a little drama.
And who doesn't like that in the story? I mean, like, the book would be so boring without them. You just have Fanny and Edmund, like, being good people and living their lives.
Henry and Mary.
Shake it up,
just
man.
Add a little spice.
Have a little Regency house party.
And, like, I'm sorry, do we suddenly not like good-looking people hanging around
and
us?
Okay.
I like to look.
Are they morally gray characters who do dubious things and lie to people and flirt a little bit too much? Sure. But
Sure.
who hasn't been there?
Right. Who hasn't had a handsome friend that's a little questionable on their morals?
Yeah.
Also, I have a closing argument for this. Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
Case closed.
Case closed.
Here's a big one. Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Now, we know that at the assembly, she overhears Darcy say that she's not handsome enough to tempt him.
Mhm.
So she basically wants to avoid him.
But is that what she's doing? I don't think that's what her actions say, because that woman throws herself in his path any chance she gets.
I mean, you've got her going to Netherfield when Jane gets caught in the rain.
Right. Immediately. She's like, oh, my sister's sick. I got to go to Netherfield.
And then she stays.
And who's at Netherfield? Darcy.
I know she wants to be there with her sister, but like,
Right.
could have taken the carriage back and forth a couple times a day.
Can I just say, she doesn't stay in her room while she's in Netherfield.
No,
She's
right.
like in the rooms with them.
She's not nursing Jane. She's down there like having an argument with Darcy.
She's not with Jane at all. She's just hanging with Darcy.
And
oh
so
my gosh.
Then the next, like, moment
when
is
she goes to Rosings?
To Rosings, right.
Right. You are aware that Lady Catherine is his aunt. So where do you go to dinner? Rosings.
Then, so like after all of that, she, rejects the proposal. And then what does she do? She goes on vacation with Aunt and Uncle Gardner.
And where does she go? Darcy's house.
What are we saying here about Lizzie?
Liar.
Our next one is Frank Churchill. Whew. Frank Churchill from Emma. And his goal is to marry Jane Fairfax, but also to keep his inheritance from the Churchills. So what does Frank do wrong, Kim?
He flirted with Emma.
Yeah. He flirted with Emma in front of Jane.
He flirted with Emma in front of everyone at Box Hill.
Badly done, Frank.
Badly done, Frank.
Boo.
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 Boo, Frank.
Is your name Mr. Yates?
Are you forlorn because your recent theater production at Mansfield Park was canceled?
Are you now in need of a new location, props, costumes?
We're here to help.
Are you looking for new actors? Have you tried making new friends?
Have you gone to your local rival theater and stolen all of their stuff?
Have you tried locating Lord Byron? He hangs around a lot of theaters.
And don't worry about your respectability with him, because nobody respects theater people.
And we say that as theater people.
Remember, the play's the thing.
That's Shakespeare, not Austen.
All right. Well, I have you. Mr. Yates, I am a local actor, and I would love to be considered for any of your future productions.
Well, it's that time. You know who is up next, Kim.
I don't want to do it.
Mr. Collins.
I don't.
Pride and Prejudice.
No, I don't want to do it. He's the worst, Andrea.
He is the worst. He's the actual worst.
He's so annoying. The way he's always just like, oh, I need to find a wife that's going to impress Lady Catherine.
Yeah, it's not just finding a wife for himself. It's because his patroness tells him that he has to find a wife, right?
No, he never shuts up about her.
And so then what's his first step is going in and finding the prettiest girl in Meryton, who is also
Jane,
his cousin. And
gross.
Yeah, and he's just like, I think got my eyes set on you, girl.
God, and can we just give it up to Mrs. Bennett in that moment for saving Jane?
Yeah, well, she at least recognizes the situation, and she's just like, we're saving Jane for, Bingley.
Oh my!
But Lizzie's available.
Lizzie! Lizzie! Oh my God!
And then that
proposal is the worst.
So bad.
It's the worst. God, and then the next day, he's just engaged to Charlotte.
I know, he doesn't even, it's not like 24-hour turnaround, just like immediately found a wife.
It's the worst. He's the worst. And the way that poor Charlotte just becomes like the perfect wife for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
And I mean, I agree, but didn't he kind of accomplish his goals?
No, Andrea.
I mean, technically.
Are you saying
Mr. Collins, no notes?
No notes?
No notes.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I know.
No, but let's talk about Tom Parker from Sanditon. Now, this man wants to make money in only the one way he knows how: speculation. For those of you who don't know what speculation is, it's essentially investment. It's kind of like what hedge funds do. They see a new product and they think, I'm interested in that. Let's fund it. Now, he does a couple wackadoodle things, but he's trying. Andrea, you have any other notes?
First rule of Speculation Club: do not talk about Speculation Club.
Yeah, okay, that feels reasonable. Sure.
The second rule of Speculation Club: you do not talk about Speculation Club.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. You don't need to repeat yourself.
Third rule: you always gamble with money you don't have against militia members stationed in your town.
All right, that seems pretty specific, and that would be nuts if somebody did that.
Fourth rule: always buy your wife expensive jewelry when you can't afford to pay your workers.
Oh, dang, did he do that?
Fifth rule: always buy fire insurance for your town, but don't pay for it.
Okay, well that seems pretty messed up. That doesn't seem right.
And the sixth and final rule: never trust a man who rents out an elephant.
Wait, did that actually happen?
All right, the next one we have is the man we all love to hate, John Willoughby from Sense and Sensibility. And he wants to marry Marianne Dashwood, but he also wants to keep his inheritance. So, Kim, do you have any notes for Willoughby?
Oh, I got notes, Andrea. I got so many notes for that guy. Listen to me, Willoughby. I'm going to talk right to you. You mother.
Virtual Jane Con apologizes for Kim's outburst and will not air any of it due to its inflammatory nature. Virtual Jane Con does not support the views expressed in this portion of the broadcast. For example, Virtual Jane Con does not condone calling Willoughby a money-hungry cad or a second-rate Percy Shelley wannabe or so broke even Beau Brummel was like, dude. All rakes deserve to be treated with dignity even if they don't extend the same favor to Marianne Dashwood or Eliza Williams. Please keep in mind that John Willoughby is a fictional character and he cannot hurt you. It was not Jane Austen's intent to inspire a profanity-laced rant from a 21st century comedian. If she saw you doing this, she would be like, whoa, take it down a notch, Mrs. Norris, and then you would cry and cry. It is not right to cite Willoughby's lines from Sense and Sensibility and add, "ya big old jerkface," even if it is technically correct. In short, refrain from attacking 19th century rakes on the internet. Unless it's Lord Byron, then it's fair game. Also, Virtual Jane Con does not recommend using potatoes as projectiles. Thank you so much for joining us for Be Not Alarmed, Austen Characters. We have notes.
I'm Kim Kalish. You can find me on Instagram and all the socials on @KimKalish.
And I'm Andrea Schwartz. You can find me on all the socials at Austen First Drafts. And we just want to encourage you to check out all the other Virtual Jane Con panels. You can check those out on the Virtual Jane Con YouTube playlist for this year's participants.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yoo-hoo. Andrea, what are you going to do after this? I'm thinking of, making some potatoes.
Oh, good. Good call. I have an extra one here. So what's your favorite kind of way to make potatoes?
I love a baked potato, but I'm not against a boiled.
Ooh, I'm a big fan of jacket potatoes. You can dress them up any way you like with some cheddar cheese and some chives. Maybe
I love a jacket
butter.
potato. Yeah, that's really good. I also like a good old-fashioned mashed potato.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. But also you just got fries and home
fries are great. Yeah, and also curly Q fries. Those are my favorite fries. Those are good.
Or just straight up boiled potatoes. I mean, why mess with the classic?
Now, do you salt before or do you salt after?
I salt before, and I put them in cold water first, and then
bring it to a boil.
Bring it up, yeah.
So I salt after because I just feel like it catches the flavor.
Add a little bit
better.
of flavor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll try that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
do you do herbs on yours, or do you just keep it real simple?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I keep mine very simple. I don't go herby. Man.
I add garlic. I add, sometimes rosemary. It's real good. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm getting really hungry. I wonder, we should really go find some.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay, great. I'll just bring over. All right, cool.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.